we're looking ridiculous with the 2 pairs of sunglasses. Good morning. Let's try this again with 1 pair of sunglasses. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Milt and this is Begin, Living Like a Boss. July the 17th of 2024, and going to be another hot one. So we're out here at 7 o'clock in the morning. We're going to be working at our 1941 D47J. The Army Cat. What we got going on this morning is putting back the oil pan and hanging our spring up underneath this old girl. See if we can get her to set down on her own tracks here and go forward from that. I got the pan laying down there on some plywood there. Tiggs, he's no, that's not Tiggs, that's little Ezra, small cat. But anyway, we got the oil pan down there. I'm going to put some RTV on the existing gasket that's hanging off the bottom of the block, and it's in really good condition, so I'm just going to put a little RTV along the oil pan flanges, move that back in this area over here where the bolt goes through, the big hanger bolt. I'm going to have a 2-inch ratchet strap on there to pick the bottom up, and then out in the front in this area here we'll have another one to pick up the oil pan there, and if we have to push it, we'll put the floor jack on it. Okay, looking from above, I have a strap situated on the rear of the oil pan and toward the front of the oil pan. So we're just going to gently try to raise that up so it'll come up and clear enough room to put the floor jack underneath the actual lower part of the oil pan, and then hopefully push it up in place. I got the silicone tabbed on the flange of the oil pan. Okay, there's enough clearance there now. I'm going to roll the floor jack underneath and push it up with the floor jack. And just like that, that's how it's put in place. Both sides, the dowel pin here is started on the dowel pin hole on the oil pan. So now we just got to get some small bolts started up here, 3 or 4, and then she'll be securely in place. 3 or 4 each side. Okay, that's all for two on either side I've got, just to temporarily hold it up so I can remove these straps and get that floor jack out of there, and then we'll get right underneath and go to town on getting some bolts in there. Okay, got the jack and them straps moved out of here, and this is what it looks like. I don't know how many bolts there are, but we'll have to sort them out. We got I think 4 or 5 big ones at the back of the bell housing and the back of the oil pan, and then a whole bunch on either side and over the front. There's a view of my welding, or I didn't weld it, but my buddy welded it together. And I'm thinking, before I get too carried away, I'm just going to put some oil in there and see if it's going to create a seep. Okay, well, we got it full of oil to the full line on the dipstick. That's not as much oil as it would normally take, but run out of oil. I didn't quite have 5 gallons to put in it, so far so good. No seepage. When we find more oil, well, we'll just top it up to the top. It's supposed to be checked when running, so probably an inch over the full line on the dipstick. Well, I'm right underneath the old Army Cat here, and just offhand there, I've noticed that that particular roller, second one back, is missing the 2 bolts on this side. So I guess at some time we'll have to investigate that. There seems to be a gap between the track frame and the flange, the roller flange, to hold it up there. So we'll have to look into that, I guess. But what we're underneath here for is actually, take a look, see, we got our big bolts at the back, and we got all our small bolts in at the on the sides of our oil pan. And we'll just focus in a little bit here. Whoop, wrong way. Our crack there seems to be not sweating. I've got it right full of oil. Might as well have a couple of battle scars if you're going to have an Army Cat. Next thing up on the assembly of the oil pan and spring is these big bolts that go through the oil pan T-bolts, and they hold up the main spring and tie it or keep it attached to the oil pan underneath. I got them all greased up. The pins on the tops, bolts are all greased up, and I only managed to find one of these big keeper pins for now, but we will just put them in place and not bend them over, because if I know the way I do things, it's going to go together, and then halfway through I'll realize it's got to come apart because I got it in backwards. So anyway, we'll put the keeper pins in after it's sitting on the springs. Okay, that's both sides in. And I don't have an extra cotter pin, so we're just sticking this hairpin in there temporarily so things don't fall apart while I'm wrestling that big spring underneath there. I'm going to try to feed that big spring in between the suspension and the top of the track. Hopefully it'll go down there. And I think only on this side I need to tie the arms up with that spring. So I got a big bunchy cord there just holding things up out of the road. So let's give her a whirl. Might have to do some jacking of the track. Well, we got the track jacked up and perched up here precariously. So I think I might have enough room now. Well, I just don't think it's going to go in there, so I'll have to go in from underneath. Okay, going in from underneath. It was quite a struggle to get it in, sort of in position, but I tied that chain to this end and I managed to get it pulled up into its pocket. And we'll see what happens next. I got the other end of the chain going over to the other side of the cat, and I'll do the same thing on that end. Try to anyway pick it up and put it in the pocket. Just when you're giving up all hope, you realize or remember you've got the Clark. So we're picked up our whole front end of our engine underneath that bridge beam. I think we got plenty of room here now. I got this spring up there and pulled back that direction. So let's just go over to the other side and maybe we can nest that right into place. Okay, that was successful. Raised her up high enough and looks like it's balanced out. I might have to go over and just nudge it my way, maybe a 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch, and then we'll try letting her down. Don't know if I caught that on film. I just wedged it over about 1/4 inch or so, and now we'll just go and see if we can let her down, and hopefully it'll just sit into place. All right, let's let her down. I think it's catching on something, so we'll have to get a bar in there. There, seems like she's going down. All right, successfully nested in place. Now we just got to get the rest of the auxiliary spring into place, and some pins and keepers, and should be back standing on our own. Okay, down in there is the auxiliary spring. I still got to get some proper cotter pins, and I had to use bolts on the bottom pins there because I just didn't have any pins. So we're just using a bolt in there, but we got her all tightened up, and once we get the cotter pins in, that'll be done. It's already noon here, and it's probably 30, 35 or some darn thing ridiculous. So we got the oil pan in, main spring across, auxiliary spring underneath that. Just waiting, gonna have to go to town, get some keeper pins. That might be what I gotta do because I'm out of beer. We'll go do that. Get a tire tube for my John Deere tractor. I been having trouble with that tube there for a few times. I had it apart 5 times, patched twice, missed a hole, this, that, and the other thing still going down. And then let's go over there. We'll just see what's going on. But after all that work there, I just yesterday ordered a new tube for this darn tire. And while I was waiting for to go to town to get it, while I was working on the spring here just now, about 15 minutes ago, the old thing just let loose. Can't get over that, a great big gash in it. So it was obviously leaking along that gash, but I could never find a leak, but it was weak anyway. So piece of crap. Let's get a new one. That's all we got for today. So we'll see you later. Bye for now.